Welcome into the next episode of this series. We have gone away and licked our wounds from what was our inaugural season in the MLB, where we got absolutely slammed as expected. But we've gone away, we've decided some team needs, and now it's time to take on free agency. Last episode, we showed the overall season review and free agency pool, so we'll be dipping into that. And I'm determined, need wise, that of course we need upgrades across the board on the offensive side. Some of the mainstays will obviously be Handa. I think we can live with Deus as well. The production he gave us from catcher, and he was at least in the positive defensively. Um, Goodman as well, and maybe McKinstry. Aside from that, everyone else is kind of on the bubble. Morales is the guy we picked up in that trade with Washington. Pitching, lots of it. Need lots of pitching. We may even get active with some trades. We'll have to see. But yeah, we can improve across the board. I mean, you'll see our team rankings. We were dang near last or second to last in most categories. In offense as well as pitching, we were better on that side, but still, no, by no means were we great. Um, so yeah, we're gonna take on free agency and the Rule 5 draft in this episode, and set up the roster for spring training and international amateur free agent signing. All that good stuff be coming up soon. So that's what we'll be taking on in this one. Figured we can take a peek at the trading block just to see who the AI have available in top three here. Shota Imanaga, I definitely butchered that, but he's on 15.2 after arbitration, or no, line through 2028. Then he'll have arb. Forgive me. He's also 33. He's on 15.2, and then a team option next year of 17 mil with a buyout of $0. Actually, that's impressive by them. Jurickson Profar next, the left fielder, who actually doesn't look terrible, but he's 33 also, and he does have the fragile tag, but he's also on 15 mil for the upcoming season. Would be a terrible rental, but for what they'd probably want, I probably wouldn't want to do it. And then Chris Paddock as well. He's on 4.8. He has another year left after that as well, a 4.8. He's kind of interesting, but I don't know. I mean, he's been consistent-ish, but not great by any means. Other than that, we did have a report requested on Joey Bart just to see how he comes back. He did have 2.2 WAR last year. He hit above average. I was a little bit interested in him. Looks like he is going to be a free agent after this upcoming season, so they're just trying to offload him because, of course, the Pirates aren't going to extend him. But he's making 7.8 the upcoming year. Other than that, nothing too crazy on the trade block. Taking another look at the pitchers here. Edwin Diaz tops the list. Of course, he is a closer type guy, and that's going to be what he would be expecting to sign for. He just had 62 innings pitched with the Dodgers this past season, where he actually did really, really well. Looks like they might not have quite ran him as their closer, but he still had a solid season regardless. Joe Jimenez and Aaron Bummer, along with Chris Sale. We're going to gander through the list here and really establish some of our favorites. And of course, as we make decisions, I'll keep you guys in the know, but I won't bore you too much with just peeking around and picking through free agents too much. If you guys do enjoy that and would like to literally see every single thing, then of course let me know, because I'd be happy to show that. But I just try to think as one of the viewers about what you would truly enjoy or not whenever watching a video. So yeah, we're going to establish some of our favorites here, and we'll see who we can kind of settle on as far as pitching goes. Right away, someone that's caught my eye here is Griffin Jacks. See, it says his current demand. By the way, I'm using a custom view. I just added this one free agent pitching. But yeah, Griffin Jacks. 2.4 million is his current demand. He is 32. He did stick around long enough to have normal injury proneness. He does have 30 stam. He has enough pitches to be a starter. If somehow stamina randomly increased after this report comes back, he probably would start for us. But he has regularly been in the pen, of course. Our report is from September 29th, so almost October. So it's a little bit old. It's December 1st. We do have some reports coming back. But again, I can't. OSA sees him even a little bit better. But I get worried about waiting just a little bit too long. Because of the AI, maybe grabbing some guys out from underneath our nose. We are going to offer him a contract. He does only want 1 year. He does want the closer role, which I don't have a problem giving up. Caleb Ferguson was our closer this past year. He had 27 saves. He had 30 shutdowns, 14 meltdowns. I mean, ideally, he would have done even a little bit better when it comes to ERA plus and FIP minus. But we can work around that promise anyway because the promise may be what pushes the deal over the edge. That could make or break it. We'll keep the promise there and we'll just roll with the 2.4 and we'll see how that comes back. But yeah, Griffin's going to be our first offer. We will go ahead and start adding a bunch of guys that we like to our targets list. Up next, right beside him, I actually like Adrian Morjan or Morjan. Morhan, however you want to say that. He's also another reliever with 3 solid pitches. Throwing roughly 97 to 99. This is pre-scouting report. He had a good year last year with Baltimore between AAA and 53 innings in the majors. We're going to offer him as well. We're looking for some, bang for buck type guys. He's a lefty reliever. 3.8 mil is his ask. We'll see if he wants 1 year, or I mean, like I was going to say, him being 27, we could live with a couple years. Might let's see. We might try 2 years. We'll see. He probably hates it, to be honest, but we'll see what happens whenever he actually comes back from telling us if he likes it or not. Another reliever here that's caught my eye is Alec Vesia. He actually went in the expansion draft to Montreal, and we were also interested in him in that draft, but they were able to snag him first. He's 30 years old. He did really good for them this last year. 1.5 WAR as a reliever. He had 59 innings. He had a 127 ERA plus and a 72 FIP minus. We're going to be putting an offer in for him as well. I was going to say these 1 year deals for relievers will be really nice. He also wants to close a role promise to him. Did they let him close this past year? Probably. He had 20 saves. Let's see. We'll throw a 1 year offer at him and we'll see what he comes back with. We'll try no specified promise role. He's going to hate it though. Yeah. We might have to pass there. We might double back to him. Really unfortunate for us that the starting pitching crop is kind of rough, unless there's some sleepers in the 45 overall range. But as far as the top, we have Nestor, of course, who we just had, who actually had a relatively solid season with us, but he wanted more years than I was willing to commit to for him. Sonny Gray looks all right. He does want 16 mil and he's 37. We may end up taking a chance on him. He had a really good year as well this past season. And then Bieber wants 20 mil, 23 mil for Kershaw, and 35.2 for Sale. So they're not asking for anything super cheap by any means. And we do have money, don't get me wrong. We got 81.7 mil. And that is still, I'm pretty sure, with our development budget maxed out. As far as our scouting budget, it's not maxed, but it is at 20. So it's not like we're hurting on our budgets by any means. But yeah, like we really need a starter. So I'm kind of a little undecided what we're going to do there as far as starters go. A familiar face that may make his way back onto the team is Gregory Soto. Was picking through the free agents, and I saw he ended up being a free agent after we traded him to Seattle at the deadline, if you remember. And he is actually having a really good year with us, and he continued to have a solid season with Seattle in his 24 innings pitch there. So we will likely be making an offer for him as well. Well, in the process of swimming along, Shibaguchi actually managed to sign with the Phillies. That's a big get for them. He was a phenomenal on-base guy that had entered as one of the established international free agents. So yeah, that's one of the first dominoes to fall out of the premier free agents. While rolling along here, you'll see the lottery results have finally been announced, and we did hold on to the number 1 pick. Thankfully, we really need that. The Pirates jumped from 4th to 2nd. The Athletics from 3rd to 2nd. Giants with a nice jump, but obviously the real story here is the Tigers jumping from 15th all the way to 6th. That's an insane leap. I'm sure they're really thrilled. We have our first couple of free agent signings coming through. Relief pitcher Griffin Jacks has signed a deal with us on 2.4 million for 1 year. Really solid arm. Hopefully, he can improve upon what was last year, a below average year for him, but this kind of value at 2.4 I couldn't pass up on regardless. If he had the stamina, he would easily be a starter, but yeah, he'll be coming out of the pen for us. Also, we have Adrian Morjan, or Morahan, however you say it, signed a deal for 3.4, another really good value, good arm. He'll be in the pen as well. As you can tell, obviously, by his stam, he had a solid year last year with the Orioles, through some innings in AAA. But that's our first 2 signings thus far. Let's check out this trade proposal real fast. Here is Langevin They want Ferguson now. You lead. Nah, we're gonna reject that one. The Rule 5 draft is here on December 22nd now. Of course, we do have the first pick, followed by the Athletics and Phillies. We're going to hop into this one, and hopefully we can get some good value. Well, right away, no one too crazy in here. Of course, we'll be looking for some pitching, and it's not great, but as always, the Rule 5 is loaded with relievers, usually, which is to be expected. There's a starter here in Gabriel Hughes, but he's not quite what we'd be looking for. We're not really going to grab people for the sake of just grabbing people. Roberts here isn't too bad, but he just hasn't developed enough just yet to be able to come in and actually contribute. And of course, as you know, or maybe you don't know, but people you draft in the Rule 5 have to remain on your active roster the whole season. Otherwise, you can only release them and they'll go back to their previous team that you drafted them from. But someone that did catch my eye was Trey Sweeney. I think that's who we're going to be taking for our first pick. He looks quite good. Our scouting report is from November 14th, so roughly a month old, not too bad. So I'd like to think what we see is what we would get. All these bars have about 5 more to fill out, except for the eye. He's already realized that. But I could see him playing third base for us possibly if needed. I mean, I'm kind of surprised he's even on here, for being honest. He had a 394 plate appearances in AAA last year, and he had 3.6 WAR. And then even once he came up to the majors for the Tigers, he had 150 plate appearances and had 2 WAR. So he was still on pace for what he was doing in AAA. He had a really good season last year, so I'm kind of surprised to see him here. I think we are gonna draft Trey Sweeney though. No, for our second pick, I think I kind of changed my mind. I might get Sim Roberts anyway. And like I said, I know he hasn't quite made it, but I was looking, our report is from August, so it's quite old now. So he could have realized more of this, which would be really nice. I think what I'm gonna do though is we'll take him, and then we'll have this report come back, and then we'll have another arm for spring at worst case. And if we don't like him, then we'll just send him back to the Cardinals. We'll just release him and he'll go back. So yeah, no harm. We're just gonna take Sam. No one else really caught our eye, so we did just make those first 2 picks and roll on through the rest of the Rule 5 draft. It was kind of a weaker pool than I expected, but not bad. I mean, we got some solid could-be players, so we'll see what happens. Currently still just advancing days, having scouting reports come back, waiting on some of the player development labs to come back that haven't already. To see how Donis is actually doing well. Wiggins is on track. It'll be cool to see how those pan out. The others so far have just been no improvement. But yeah, we're going to keep rolling along, and hopefully we land some more free agents. Just catching you guys up to speed with some of the current offers we made. We have an offer in for Eric Fed, just for a 1-year deal. He had 2.2 WAR last year with an 88 FIP minus, pretty solid. Nico Horner as well. We're trying to get him on a 1-year deal. I think it's a 1-year deal. It might be. Wait, what do we offer him? 2 or 1? 2-year deal. He had 3 WAR last year and then 2.7 WAR the year before. So he's been relatively consistent. I thought getting him for 2 years could be okay. We really lack the on base. I mean, hitting in general has been weak, right? Of course, after last season, everything was weak, but he can really help with where we lacked. He's obviously not the kind of guy that has pop, but he's going to get on base for us, and he has good base running ability. So hopefully, he can contribute if we manage to lock him down. A 1-year, $14.6 million offer out to Matthew Boyd. He had 3.2 WAR last year, and the year before that, 2.5. He's been slightly above average, which we'll take for sure if we were able to land him. And then Gregory Soto still hasn't signed yet. A 1-year, $3.6 million deal is what we're trying to bring him back on. As some of you may know or may not know, we had drafted him in the Rule 5, and then at the deadline, we were able to trade him to the Mariners, and the Mariners ended up, of course, letting him walk because, like I said, just wanted him on a rental. But yeah, this is how it looks. And then, of course, this is who we currently signed was Morjon and Jax. So we'll see if we can land some more of these guys. As far as who's still left, batters-wise, some of the premier free agents are still here. Very tempted to get Mixie on Murakami maybe and play him at like second base. I don't know. Here, he can't really play anything but first with this defense. He is insane versus lefties. That's actually incredible. But yeah, versus righties, obviously he falls off, but he's still pretty good. But I don't know. They're wanting a lot. He's 31. He's 33. He's 30, which isn't the end of the world, but he just has no defense to go along as well. So he'd be first baseman or DH. He's just going to be a phenomenal on-base guy. All of these guys, unfortunately, are wanting, yeah, like till he's 37. Murakami is wanting to be locked up, so he's 36. Uh, Hira or Hyra want to be locked up to he's 35, and I don't feel like putting the franchise in that spot right now to long-term guarantees. Now, of course, you'll see there's a 2-year offer here for Horner, for 32 per, but that's just because it's only 2 years. He's 29. I think he just won the Gold Glove this. Okay, no, that's an IRL Gold Glove from what, 3 years ago or four? Yeah, 3 years ago in real life in 2023. But anyways, like I didn't mind it, because it's only 2 years. We're not strapped for an eternity, and that's what I'm trying to prevent right now. We want to build through the draft and, rotating solid players out for good prospects that hopefully become solid for us. And I want to try to save the long term guarantees for players we really, really like and want to be around for a long time. And of course, that's what we did with Handa, our first off season before our first season. Now, of course, he was roughly only average this past year, but I feel like he can be better than that. And plus, he's on a pretty friendly deal compared to what some of these guys are wanting, right? So I didn't mind this at all, and we get out of it whenever he's 31, unless some reason, we decide to keep him. But yeah, that's how things currently look. We're going to roll along and hopefully land some more of these free agents and fill out our roster. And Gregory Soto has returned to the Oaks. So he took a little break away from us to go do his job for 24 innings in Seattle. It's free agency, and we bring him right back on a 1-year, $3.6 million deal. So pretty happy with that one. He'll be heading to the pen. Another signing rolling through. We have managed to land Matthew Boyd. I'm really excited about this one. Going to place him on the active roster, of course. Well, first we'll have to make some space on the secondary roster. But yeah, excited about this one. It's just a 1-year deal, 14.6. I feel like this replaces Nestor pretty well, which honestly we may be able to slide in for Nestor. Again, try to get in the mix. But yeah, he's coming off a 3.2 WAR season where he was pretty solid. And just the year before, he led the league in WHIP. He is 35, so we weren't looking to lock him down long term. But yeah, really excited. All right, lots of important emails rolling through. We had Eric Fed, sign his contract for 1 year, 7.5. We're really hoping to continue that production from last year. It could have been a fluke career year for him, but he had 2.2 WAR where he pitched pretty well. Regardless, it's just for 1 year if it doesn't work out. We actually did manage to lock down Nico Horner. Pretty excited about that. The fans were excited as well. On a 2-year deal, 16 per. So not too bad, but it is just 2 years. He'll instantly be like second highest paid or third with Anda at just 16 mil, so not bad. But yeah, he's been pretty consistent the past 2 years that have actually happened in Sim, not counting the real life years where he was also pretty much the same, funny enough. But yeah, hopefully he can get on base for us and be a great leadoff type guy. Got a trade proposal coming in from the Dodgers. Let's check this out. Brady Smith, no. Michael Ramirez, no. Don't even want to look at the rest. Yeah, that one's just bad all around. But excited they signed. Got some reports coming back from the dev lab. Some guys are doing decent. They're on pace. Some are kind of not. But we're going to let them finish it out regardless. We're not going to cancel it. I know you can cancel them in this OTP if you would like midway through, but we're going to let them roll through it and see what happens. So funny enough, we have managed to land, I think, mostly everyone we offered, and this rounds out that list. I was trying to make a bid on Kyle Tucker for 2 years or 3 years with a team option being the third year, but he hates it. He has the Phillies as his current best offer, which they have been having an insane free agency. But don't worry, we'll go over a free agency recap and try to touch on who made the top signings of those all those international free agents. But yeah, they've had a really good one. But apparently they're leading the race for Kyle Tucker as well. I was hoping to really get this production from his bat, but just to show you guys, this is where we left off. 3 years at 33.2, and he went up to this. I can't guarantee that kind of money. For someone who's currently 30, which isn't terrible, but I just can't do it. You guys gotta let me know if you would do it or not, or if you think it's a smart decision to just hold off. And yeah, well, of course the Phillies did get him. What did he end up signing there? Let's be nosy. Wow, yeah, so they gave him till 2031, and he tried to swindle us out of a lot more money than they were offering him. I mean, we were going 3 years at almost another 10 million more than this, which I understand. Maybe he just was trying to price us out of it, trying to give us an offer or a counter of, you know what, I don't really want to play for you, but if you will give me this, I will play for you. So he wanted to price us out, which he did, and he went to the Phillies. Here is a quick glance at the Hall of Fame voting results as of 2027 in January. Andrew Jones is the lone one inducted to the Hall of Fame in his 10th year. So yeah, in his final year, he gets inducted. Here's how the rest of the ballot shook out. International amateur free agency snuck up on us, and I was able to put in an offer for the starting pitcher Oscar Castillo. And he actually signed no problems. I was kind of surprised I didn't have a little more competition for him. But this pool was pretty strong. And a lot of players had already signed. You'll see here. That was us with Oscar. He did want a good chunk. That could be why he was still sticking around. Some earlier ones was Willie Sanchez to the Rangers. Um, Eduardo Rodriguez, he was all right. Who's some other big ones? Metal, he was okay as well. Either way, I'm really happy with our signing of Castillo. Being that he was 4.68, he did take a good chunk of what was our budget. So yeah, that pretty much puts us out for the rest of international amateur free agency, which I'm perfectly fine with. We are going to add him to our favorite prospect shortlist, and we do have a brand new scouting report coming in on him. We'll see how he looks, but I'm sure it'll probably be pretty similar to this because we already had high accuracy. But either way, he'll be in the complex and hopefully developing. And once he hits 18, 19 years old, we'll promote him to our DSL team. Preseason has passed and spring training is upon us. We actually simmed one day until we actually won our first spring training game 7-1. But it's just spring training, so we're not getting ahead of ourselves. Very early look at the preseason predictions. We'll take another peek at these in the next episode for sure. This is how those look as the Orioles reaching 101 wins. Us at the bottom, of course, to be expected at 71 and 91. The Twins leading their division. Here's the projected top hitters as of now. Once again, we will check it out again before opening day in the next episode. And the Dodgers and Mets leading their divisions respectively and their top hitters and pitchers of the NL. This is how our roster currently looks after free agency. We did land Nico Hoerner. And of course, a lot of this is very jumbled up here. We'll sort by position to make it a little bit easier to look at because where it is spring training, get promoted everyone from our secondary roster. But we will be simming through spring training and whatnot. We won't be following it too hard, but we'll of course do an update of it and check out our record and how it went and who was some overperformers or underachievers in spring. So the roster didn't change too much, right? The notable adds were Nico Hoerner, of course. Yohandy Morales, he's going to be interesting because we did trade for him last year and he only got 113 plate appearances with us. I think he's definitely better than this. I mean, he was doing way better with Washington. But I don't know. I want to assume he'll be better. But we'll have to see. But our notable addition on the offense was Nico Hoerner. Not too many other changes as much as I really wanted to on the offensive side of things. There just wasn't that many. It was a very weak free agent class. And of course, Jacob Young is still a pretty new face. We brought in for the defense. He came over from Washington, but he didn't get any reps with us because that trade happened in November. But he's good on the base paths as well. I do think he was probably overachieving at this 101 OPS plus with Washington. I expect him to be worse than that, but maybe not. Maybe not. Hopefully not anyway. But I think this is a little bit of an overachievement, but we really wanted the defense with hopefully an okay bat. On the pitching side of things look a lot different. Of course, we got Matthew Boyd. We grabbed Sim from the Rule 5. Pablo Adonis, he was a guy we got in a trade as well with that Washington trade where we got Jacob Young. Like I said, a lot of these guys, this is not our final roster at all for pitching or our lineups. We'll obviously go over that as well before opening day, what our final roster is going to be for our opening day roster. This is just guys who are coming up to get spring training reps. And we did set up pitch limits of 50 for our starting rotation just for the duration of spring to try and limit that. Yeah, of course, we added Aldonis in the trade, Roberts in Rule 5, Boyd in free agency. We added Cano from waivers last year, Clevenger from waivers last year. Eric we signed in free agency. Gaddis, never mind, we had Gaddis for a while. Let's see, who else? Adrian, we added from free agency. And Soto and Griffin Jacks were both added from free agency. Taking a look at the offseason summary by team, we'll just go through here pretty quick. We'll see sorted by WAR gained, the Cardinals and Diamondbacks led there, and then there's us with adding 7.3 WAR, which is pretty exciting. This does subtract the WAR lost, So, for example, here using the Diamondbacks, they're second with 11.5, but here you'll see it's 17.4. Well, the 11.5 comes from subtracting that 5.9, and that's how they get that. But they made a lot of ads overall. 17.4 WAR. I'm interested to see the Cardinals real quick. We'll skip. We'll go back up to the top, but yeah, they added 16.1. But yeah, just looking through here, I mean, they added Logan Webb. He had 4.3 last year, and Andrew Walters, who had 3.4. The Athletics actually didn't gain any, sadly, not even a full WAR, but they lost 3.1 worth, which isn't a ton. The Braves, they come in and they pick up Ricardo Castillo. Hate that it scrolls back to the top every time. They, of course, lost Sale and Schwellenbach to free agency. Well, Sale to free agency, Schwellenbach to trade to Colorado. The Orioles added Vinny Pasquantino. Pretty good get for them. The Red Sox added Shane Bieber. White Sox, their notable ad was Bernie Martinez. The Cubs' most notable addition was Carlos Rodon. Marshall Kazowski for the Reds. Hae-Seong Kim for the Guardians. Dylan Cease and Schwellenbach for the Rockies. That was via trade again. For the Tigers, it was Mason Thompson and Estevez, which isn't too crazy. For the Astros, Bibby. Royals was Law. Nestor Cortez ended up with the Angels, of course. He was with us last year. Dodgers, they were pretty active, but they kind of went more by quantity, not necessarily they went more by quantity, not necessarily quality. But Mayer was their headliner and Tyler O'Neill. Taylor Trammell and Ethan Small ended up with the Marlins. With the Brewers, Rocio Iglesias. The Twins, Tom Murphy and Garrett Cole. Jorge Soler and Harrison Bader end up with the Expos. That was their notable additions. Luis Robert Jr. actually settled on the Yankees. He had 5.6 WAR last year. Here's a quick glance at his ratings. I'm not going to click him because it keeps jumping to the top, and I know it's annoying to have to scroll back down for myself and you guys as a viewer. But yeah, he was their notable addition. He still has really solid defense. His bat kind of fell off. We're actually going to click him. I lied because I was curious what contract he got. He was asking for a chunk. Yeah, it's not as bad as I thought, I guess, but still not great. But it is only 4 years. So yeah, going back down to the Yankees real quick. The Mets, Edwin Diaz was their notable, and CJ Culpepper. The Phillies, who were very active, like I wasn't lying, man, they added 21 players. Their notable additions by WAR was Kyle Tucker and Tyler Stevenson and Dane Myers. We'll actually go look at the Phillies real quick because they signed a lot of the top international free agents, but we'll look at them at the end. Pittsburgh Pirates, they added Armando Cruz and Zach Kelly. Nothing too crazy there, while losing Joey Bart via trade to Washington. Ourselves, finally, we added 14.6 WAR worth while losing 7.4, and that mainly came from Mason Montgomery via trade and Nestor Cortez. If you remember, we wasn't going to re-sign, or we wasn't able to re-sign Mason, or we had an offer that we couldn't refuse. Let's see, what was that trade with him? I'm trying to remember myself. Oh yeah, we got Jacob Young, who was going to be a good center fielder for us, and Pablo Adonis. So we were happy about that. Getting back down to ourselves here. Yeah, and then Matthew Boyd, Nico Horner, Eric Fetty, and Tyler Sweeney, who we got in the Rule 5, and Young was that trade. Padres, Taylor Ward, Gabriel Hughes for the Giants. For the Mariners, Chris Paddock. Cardinals actually landed Chris Sale, Shoto Imananga, via trade. Danny Colombi for the Rays. Sean Murphy ended up with the Rangers via trade. They signed Tyler Mall. And then rounding it out, we got the Blue Jays with Humberto Castellanos. And the Nationals, who added Mason Montgomery via trade with us and Kyle Harrison. Once again, another quick glance at how our roster currently looks. Feel free to pause if you want to take a closer look, but we'll touch on this more in depth once we know what our opening day roster is going to look like in the next episode. That has been the free agency period, though, the international amateur free agency period. The draft lottery was announced and all that good stuff. Wasn't a super active free agency out of us. I really wanted to be more proactive as far as improving the offense, but sadly it was just a weak pool. I mean, as far as affordable players, and now affordable, I was perfectly fine with paying 20 mil plus for some guys, but the age at a certain point really gets you when they start asking for a lot of years, right? I know we're gonna look at the Phillies. Let's take a look at the Phillies. They added Hira. They added Shibaguchi. I was a joke when I said they landed a lot of the big guys. They added, I thought they landed one pitcher. I guess not though. But yeah, those were their notables. They kind of revamped their entire offense. I mean, Stevenson, Tucker, Shibaguchi, and Hira are all brand new faces to the Phillies. So, uh, yeah, and of course they still have Harper, who's still there until he's 37 years old, unless he, you know, happens to get traded. They actually signed him to an extension already. Um, so yeah, interesting. Yeah, that's going to do it for this one. In the next one, we will cover how spring training went record wise, and underperformers and overperformers, or just right performers. We will cover the new updated prospect rankings, and we'll check in on our current prospects and see how their overalls are doing. Most notably, Jason DeCaro. We'll request a new report on him just so it's fresh for the next episode. And then we'll have opening day and things like that, the first half of the next season, hopefully. And of course, keep in mind, we're going to probably suck again, but that's the growing pains are kind of fun for me, and hopefully it's enjoyable for you as we get to develop some new franchise stars and set some new franchise records and milestones, It's the perks of being a brand new franchise. You got to take the small victories along the way. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this one. I hope you did enjoy it. And if you did, as always, please hit that thumbs up button down below the video. You don't have to if you don't want to, of course, but it does help the video get out to other viewers and help other people find us so they can enjoy the content with you. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.